We're in the front of Stormont here on the apron area, and this is a Millions Missing demonstration. The shoes lined up here represent patients who are unable to participate in their active lives due to ME. Now basically, many of them unable to leave home, some of them lying in darkened and quietened rooms because they're unable to tolerate light or sound. A few patients are so severe that they're in fact tube fed and have been ill for decades. There really is no treatment for ME, and so this demonstration is basically campaigning for better treatments and better research for ME.
My son has had ME now for about 4 years, and he keeps trying to go back to school and isn't able to. He has decided that he can either perhaps do school or have a life, and both of that's very limited. He spends most of his day in bed and the rest of the day in his bedroom, sometimes coming down to visit us for meal times and things like that. Used to be in the athletics team, rugby team, A-star student in 13 subjects, and he just can't focus or physically do any of those things now.
I was a teacher. I became ill with ME in March 2012, and I was suddenly unable to work. I lost my job a year later, and my health basically went into a continual decline. In the autumn of last year, I would not have been able to be at this event. I would have been in a wheelchair or on a mobility scooter, and was really unable to participate in life at all.
My daughter is 13. She was diagnosed with ME last October, so she's had the 1-year diagnosis, and she's been out of school for 2 years. We have home tuition for an hour twice a week. She doesn't really see any friends anymore. She doesn't participate in any social activities, and she spends most of her day in bed or resting.
My sister suffers from fibromyalgia and ME, and there's nothing like personal experience for you to see firsthand what it's like for people living with this condition. So she got me involved because I saw firsthand the effect that it has on her life, how a healthy young woman is totally wiped out and how exhausting she feels all the time, and yet the fact that no one appeared to be listening. So suppose I was fortunate to be in the position I am, a member of the Health Committee, a member of the Assembly up here, that I was able to take her fight along with the fabulous charity Hope for Fibromyalgia and ME, and to lobby other MLAs, to lobby the Health Minister, to lobby departmental officials to make their voice heard. So in effect I hope to be their voice at Stormont.
Some people have likened this condition to a living death. In our house, there has been a bereavement in our house. Our child, who once was so fit and agile and healthy and a bright wee fella, has turned into somebody who's just a shadow of himself. So we've lost the child that we had, although he's still there.
For my child, it is a living death. She is alive, yes. She can sleep 20 hours a day. So she's missing out on her life. She's missing out on her friends, her schooling, or she misses out on fun. And for some people, it is as if they've died, they're forgotten. It's made a big impact on our family because we can't plan to go any holidays, any day trips. She needs help to shower, to wash her hair, to brush her hair. It's just difficult for her to see her friends and her family having fun, and she can't. She's just too tired and too exhausted to do anything.
Well, for me, I actually had a period of decline, which was a terrible shock, because at each level that you decline one step further, there are more things that you have to give up. So first of all, I realised I couldn't walk any distance. Then gradually I became more and more ill, and was at one point hardly able to sit up at the kitchen table to eat a family meal, let alone actually cook it first. I've been doing better recently, and one of my children turned around to me and just said, "Mum, it's great to have you back." So I think that maybe gives an indication of how I was able to do less and less.
Biggest misconceptions about ME? Well, it really does exist. Even as a parent, sometimes you just unfortunately think, is my teenager just being a teenager? But really, he's not. He has had to go into a wheelchair to go around exhibitions if we've ever been able to take him out to them. No 17-year-old wants to do that. And in fact, If it wasn't for me saying that on the phone to a consultant secretary, we still would be waiting for an appointment with a consultant.
Well, I think there is a very large misconception that in fact ME patients are just deconditioned, that they're just a bit tired, that they just need to get fitter, they need to exercise more. I think there's also a perception that somehow we're depressed, and that's not true, because yes, the limitations of the illness can be depressing, but depression is not the problem. The problem is that physically we can do so very, very little. ME remains a rather hidden illness because, to be honest, patients who are ill don't come out of their homes. They are hidden. They are lost to the world, really. And when they do come out, quite often they look okay. They don't look too bad. And therefore, people think, oh, look, they could do that today, but they don't see what happens the next day. They don't see the devastating effects of the illness or the long-term decline that patients actually have. They seem to think that maybe we're just feeling a bit antisocial and we're using it as an excuse not to go out. But the reality is much worse. The disease takes everything from you, and you become less and less able to participate in the things in life that you enjoy. And of course lose work and all sorts of things as well.
I certainly will not be found wanting, and at every opportunity at the Health Committee I raise fibromyalgia and ME and put it very much on the agenda here at Stormont. We're making inroads, change is coming, change is certainly happening, because you cannot ignore 7,000 voices. People need to be heard, they need to be listened to. They're living a life with this condition that with very little help and assistance. So their voice is being heard, and I certainly am raising it every single opportunity here at Stormont.
I really hope people take something good away from the demonstrations that are going on all over the world today. Belfast is just a small part of what's happening in the whole world today, and we're just a small part of the people who can actually attend this. A lot of the patients who have ME obviously can't come here. We're all on behalf of somebody else. I hope it raises awareness that people see that we need help. The NHS sits up and sees that we need help. We need a consultant in this country to go to. It's so sad to see a child not being able to live a life and nobody to see, nobody to advise us.
To get more information, there is a website called millionsmissing.org, and so there would be a lot of information there. Our charity, Hope for ME and Fibro Northern Ireland, also has a Facebook presence, and we have a website as well.